Hi, I'm Don Bodan from SampleLibrarianReview.com. Today we're going to be checking out Abbey Road One Grand Brass, and then a little later in the video we'll check out the Abbey Road One Wondrous Flutes by Spitfire Audio. Another release in this exciting Abbey Road Studio One line that Spitfire has been releasing. This time they're promising a majestic four-horn section performed by London's finest first call players with the magic of that Abbey Road Studio sound. Abbey Road One Grand Brass downloads as 9.3 gigabytes. Horns and tubas and horns and celli were sampled, performed by London's first call session players and recorded in Abbey Road Studio One. Library contains shorts, longs, swells, and legato patches, and does run in Spitfire Audio's standalone plugin. It does require Mac OS X 10.10 or higher, or Windows 7 or higher, and normally sells for $49 from Spitfire Audio. Alright, before we dive into looking at these instruments here, I'm just going to play a rough mock-up. I spent about 20 minutes playing with both the Grand Brass Abbey Road One extension as well as the Wondrous Flutes Abbey Road extension. And, I got a pretty fun little cue started, got some ideas, and got to hear how the instruments kind of play in the room against each other. So I'm just going to play this mock-up real quick before we dive into the first look at the instruments. Just a little cue idea there I kind of whipped up. One of the things that really stood out to me playing with these instruments is the Grand Brass, the soaring legatos. Just take a listen to this. This is horns and celli here. Such a great sound, and for this entire little mock-up I used just the default mix 1. I found that if I played around with adding too many microphones and adjusting the sounds right up front on all the instruments, it was very CPU intensive, so I just want to pass that along. Before we dive in and listen to the instrument, I just want to say I'm loving that Spitfire continues to work on this plugin, this VST, the core, the standalone vessel in which they're creating all these great sample libraries. And one thing they did quite a while ago, which I just want to tip my hat to them, is a resize. All you got to do is grab the instrument's interface, and you can drag it as small as you want, well, pretty small, or to its full size. And that is so helpful rather than trying to dig in, figure out what the right size is for the particular session to get enough instruments up on the page. All right, that's all I'm going to say about the interface. I'm going to shut up and we're going to start listening. Here are the legatos. Now that's their legato 8VA. They also have a soaring legato. we're going to dig into a mix and talk about mixes in a little bit, but just the room sound of this alone is really nice. So that is the soaring legato, and that I can hear horns and cello together. And let's move on to the other articulations. We got a long with octaves. And then we get staccato in octaves. Tenutos. Some swells. And then we have swells at different lengths: medium, long. Moving on to the last articulation here, we have soaring longs. And I believe these are with the horns and the cello. Very nice sounds. And this is mix 1. I'm going to go ahead and turn on our mix 2, and we're going to listen to it as well. We'll start, of course, with staccato, because that's where you can really hear the room differences. I'm not hearing a ton of difference there, to be honest. Let's check out some of the other mixes and mics here. We got Vintage One. I'm just going to go ahead and load these guys up. I'm just going to turn some of them down so we could just listen to this vintage guy here. Just a tiny bit more splat on that guy. Yeah, that close is really nice. That adds another real dimension to it. So you can see we're getting a wide range of sound out of all of this. Yeah, I'm starting to like that sound. I love this little close mic here. That one really adds another dimension to the entire instrument. Next, we're going to dive into Abbey Road One Wondrous Woodwinds. Now, this is flutes and piccolo performances in the same room, of course, the Abbey Road Studio One. And this is the same room and desk as so many John Williams scores. And what they've done here is created some pre-orchestrated patches for recognizable sounds that you've heard on many, many scores. Library downloads as Abbey Road One Wondrous Flutes down to 6.9 gigabytes. It's flute and piccolo performances, and these are classical pairings. You double or add a high octave. It's performed by London's first call session players in Abbey Road Studio One. It contains legatos, longs, staccatos, marcatos with major and minor moderns. It's in the same Spitfire Audio standalone plugin, so it does require Mac OS 10.10 Plus or higher and Windows 7 or higher. This one as well normally sells for $49. Now, just like the additions that we've seen so far in the Abbey Road One collection, well, if you own the full Abbey Road Orchestral Foundations, then your new Abbey Road Wondrous Woodwinds will show up here. And you can see here, it's the Wondrous Flute patch loads up. And we've got one page of articulations. I'm going to mute my mic, and we're going to listen to, of course, legatos first. Super smooth and buttery, and yeah, that sound is very recognizable, that room sound. We've also got a long articulation. Shorts. I'm a little surprised at the volume I'm getting out of the shorts. Piccolo and flute shorts up that high in octaves is usually pretty piercing. So I'm wondering if that's just a choice that they made to keep it at that volume. Marcatos, and then we go on to our more dense minor seconds 8 VA. And that gives us a quick tour of the articulations. We've got two different mixes. Let's start with legatos, and we'll also check out staccatos on the two main mixes. Okay, a little more room sound in that mix too. Then we got a vintage mix here. A little warmer in vintage 2. These are mics, not mixes, sorry. A little thinner than the previous one. Then we've got individual mics here. Yeah, that ribbon mic sounds really lovely. Then we got assortment of instrument or mics here. I'm going to just do a basic. I'm going to turn them on so they load up and I have some time to play around. Here is just the close. With tree 1 and then with tree 2. Actually hear more overtones in the piccolo in that ambient mic. That's really interesting. And that classic outrigger. Now, with a lot of the Abbey Road instruments, I really do lean towards this ambient mic. Ambient? Is that what it is? I think it's ambient. And I like close and tree 2. I like a mixture of these because it really gives you the clarity but depth. Very nice. All right, I like the sound of this. It is a very precise sound and limited in articulations. It's not a full-blown, it doesn't have 30 articulations of everything that the flute and piccolos can do together, but it does have these modern twits that are pretty cool. Overall, two really nice sounding instruments. I love the sound of the room. My critique was clear about the limitations of these specialty instruments. It's not a full-blown every articulation you can think of. It does have some limitations on that side, but the sound is great. And for what this is, what they believe they're trying to do is create this modular approach to orchestral toolkits where maybe you're not going to have the time or you don't know how to orchestrate everything out. I think Abbey Road Orchestral Foundations is going to become one of those great libraries for creating scores really quickly with a wonderful sound after they finish releasing everything, even with just the base that they created at Orchestral Foundations. I'm really pleased with that. These two add-ons are nice. I think the one thing that I critiqued If I didn't already say it, once I start adding a lot of microphone positions, it is very CPU heavy, so that's something a lot of users with conservative systems are going to have issues with it. Other than that, for the price and the sound and the usability, I'm very pleased. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below, share what you think about the instruments. Are you using Abbey Road One orchestral foundations? Are you going to be picking up these expansions as they continue? Let me know below. Your comments help guide the channel, help me figure out what to feature and review in the future. If you're not already, please like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to head back on Fridays to the channel where we have our weekly Deal Compressor show covering new releases and the latest sales on music software.